Medofo, mami mo akwaba emfa omra GCN page so munua ba address me e na mede jumede we ebro na mestros of subscribe to my channel na wo don sa emia be on so wo benya notification ense me ekoso wo memu bia wo benya bia tie anase wo benya bia hwe e wo GCN page ha na Ghana fu bi omo achiro mo adwen afa ense bia betodwa efa eye omanpani dada His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no na ense ma Ghana fu ekenya ne say ewiase wo ye bibia menye ne se o ye ne tra na enanua abaya yeto e wo man Ghana mu hu ensensem e koso a NDC fo mpanifo ni bi e ka cho mo supporters o mo ntinsi monten enye demonstration because o mo susu se aba no e yo mampani dada John Dramani Mahama e na owini a se ye nyame adom a odro Ghana a Ghana ye nyina ye kro ya ye pe ye ho ase banka bia e de basabasa ye esi no sa ensem na esi no nye Ghana nko a na esi ne mu wiase afa na obia ehwebi enti na assembly eti sei ato eye omampani dada John Dramani Mahama we ne ensema Ghana fobi ede atudwa anase reaction na Ghana fobi ache ewa bra ensem we ebetodwa na adofo yentie ensema abetodwa afa eye omampani dada His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no ho a enam so Ghana fobi amasa comment no. Somalia reject John Mahama. The government of Somalia has asked the African Union to withdraw former Ghanaian leader John Mahama as its special envoy to mediate in the political crisis in their country. Na adofometwa ensemble so ede amamo. Former President John Mahama has been rejected as a UN envoy to Somalia. He was appointed by the UN to help resolve political crisis in Somalia. The people have rejected him on grounds that they cannot trust him to be fair. They say he had close ties with leadership in Kenya, for which reason his transparency cannot be trusted. Inti some way ena abetodwa afa eye omanpani dada His Excellency John Dramani Mahama no when am so Ghana fu bi achro mo adwen say enanua be yeto wo Ghana ha basabasa ya NDC fo e ka che omo supporters so omo kwabonten na omo enye oye kire no e yade a enye oman Ghana nko a na asem no esi wo ha and the social media benti no ade a be bia e de wiase ba bia and semi about to hon semi na ka ho a omo etumi de a reject eye omanpani dada John Dramani Mahama e wo UN ensensemi mu na yenti comment a ebi mo de e bai we eye see things GH na o che say oh how the matter chop hot, how can they reject chairman? We will go for an appeal by all means and we so we so HSF yawa of the day you allowed your own followers to be violent on the street of Ghana and you are going to advise some people somewhere to stop what they are doing funny and we so Daniel Kweku and I think it's caused by what happened recently after the election in the country. This will serve as a warning to our leaders not to make any comments to incite people to abuse the law of the land. And I went so HSA asemo and I went so equia and I say achi wasesa when he was sending his followers to do violence on the streets, people saw it too and I went so risk it of fun and I say when you cannot control your own followers to stop unnecessary protests, you want to mediate another country. Joker and I went so HSA. There comes a time in a man's life when everything rejects him. It's normal. In the same way, and I gonna for a day actual mampeni that John Dramani Mahama said. Yet to abandon we no, and you more NDC company for na more allow more followers or more quabontin or more koyo yatre or more yabasa passaye. Then you gonna quan issue. We are suffering now more issue. Sisia, she say, or more armor position it is a mouth for more rejected because they cannot trust you. And some way, I gonna for be and they at you.
Came out in their numbers and registered, and I want to thank you for that and express the hope that also on the day of the elections we're going to come out in those numbers and exercise our votes so that we can bring the NDC back into office to continue the good work that we were doing. I've been through several constituencies in the region, and everywhere I've gone, the story is the same. All the projects we're working on have come to a standstill. We just came from K2 South Aflao. There's a big E-block we're building there. Where it reached on January 7th, 2017, is where it has remained till now. And yet, if that school had been finished, the children in that area would have had a secondary school to attend, instead of coming to Georgia and come and congest the secondary schools in the other areas. And probably if they had finished all those schools, there are 200 of them we're building across the country, we won't have the problem that we're having with double track, where some of the children have to go to school and others stay at home for 3 months, and then when they come, then the others too go and the others come back. Apart from that, if the children are at home, you have to pay money for private teachers to teach them. And one of the teachers told me, he said when the children have sat at home for 3 months, by the time they come to school, what you taught them, they have forgotten. And so you have to spend the next 2 to 3 weeks revising what you taught them before you start teaching them the new syllabus. And so I said, when I come, we'll finish the secondary schools we're building quickly. If we build 200 secondary schools, each of them is capable of accommodating 1,000 students. That will be 200,000 vacancies in secondary school. And so we can spread the children out to all those secondary schools, and we'll bring an end to double track. Government is planning, and government is common sense. And that is what NDC was doing. We're using planning and common sense. And so we started the free SHS step by step. We started with day students. We said day students don't pay any fees. In the following year, in 2016, we started with some of the boarding students in the poorest districts. And we left office, and the new government came and said they are going to implement it immediately. Today, they say our free SHS is the most expensive in the world. Meanwhile, look at the quality. The quality is going down, it's poor. And that's why NDC is coming to make it better. I said government is like a relay race. All of us were in secondary school, and relay races were some of the sports we enjoyed the most, because one will run with the baton and give it to the next one. The next one too will run and hand it over to the next. And that's what's been happening since '92. Rawlings ran, gave the baton to Kufuor. Kufuor ran, gave the baton to Atamils. Atamils ran, gave the baton to Mahama. Mahama ran, gave the baton to Nanado. But then he started running reverse. Instead of running forward, he started running back. So Mahama has to chase him and collect the baton back from him. In the last 4 years, we've all lived in this country. Chief talked about it. Financial institutions closed. It's not that the financial institutions didn't have problems when we were in government. We knew there was a problem. But we realized that the problem was a very complicated one. And so we needed time to resolve it and make sure that you don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. When you bath a baby and the water is dirty, you take the baby out and throw the water away and put the baby back and clean the baby with clean water. But when you go and throw the baby and the water away, what have you achieved? And that's what happened. It needed 9 billion cedis to bail out the financial institutions that they closed down. Instead of investing 9 billion, and it's not money you would have been throwing away, because what you have done is you would have injected 9 billion, taking equity in those financial institutions, and as they become liquid again, you give them back their equity and